Hi, I'm Chloe from LA, and no, I wasn't always this fabulous. I grew up poor, but with my best friend Paris by my side, I didn't feel like it. We didn't have money for dolls, so we drew our own, dressed in outfits we dreamed up after picking fashion magazines from dumpsters.
This one's giving billionaire runway. Totally! When we're famous, this will be our first collection. We'll call it From Ashes to Slay.
Paris was sweet, but painfully shy, in a way that made everyone want to protect her. At school, we were the broke kids. No one liked us much. But if there were an award for the most annoying bully of the century, Claire would have won it. Hands down. She was your classic rich, spoiled nightmare who made sure we never had a moment of peace. She teased, humiliated, and laughed louder than her jokes deserved. Paris shrank a little every time. Still, I kept my cool. Until our junior year, when Claire crossed a line. We were doing what we did best, when Claire decided it was time to ruin everything. Claire, give that back!
Aw, how cute. You two want to be designers?
Poor people can't design, honey. Let me help you get rid of this delusion. She raised the sketchbook and tore it apart. The rage hit me like a tsunami, and I lunged at her. No one could pull us apart until a teacher came. Because everyone was scared of Claire, they supported her, claiming that I just attacked her without cause, and even Paris was too scared to speak up. I was sentenced to clean 40 toilets as punishment. 40! I could be scrubbing for hours and still wouldn't be done. Everything felt so unfair. I wanted to cry. But just then, Paris appeared like an angel in a dark tunnel. Need help? Without waiting for my answer, she started scrubbing the stall with me. She turned the chore into a fun game and happily washed more stalls than I did, even though she had missed all her classes that day. I knew she was making up for being too scared to speak up earlier. But that day, Paris was my angel. I promised myself I'd do something huge for her anytime my life turned around. What I didn't know was that her life would change before mine, and so suddenly. The following weekend, I went to her house to borrow some notes, and I saw that they were moving. Paris? What's going on?
Oh, hi, Chloe. I was just about to come and tell you. My parents are super rich now. They inherited a large business from a distant relative, so we're moving to a better neighborhood.
Oh, really? Well then, I'm going to miss you so much, Paris.
Nah, I told my parents I'm not changing school so we can still hang out.
I was happy Paris stayed at the school, but when she arrived, it was like the royal family was making an entrance. News of her family's sudden wealth had spread. Everyone stared as she walked into school in sparkly designers, even Claire. Hey, Paris, over here! She was coming toward me when Greg, one of the most quiet boys in our class, smacked into her and spilled the juice in his hand. OMG, Greg! How dare you ruin my bestie's jacket? Get on your knees and apologize now. I'm sorry. Please, let me wipe it. Hey, it was an accident. And since when did Paris become your bestie? Since she became rich. Paris, you don't need to hang out with a poor loser like Chloe anymore. I expected Paris to reject Claire's shameless attempt to wiggle into her good graces, but what she did next shocked me. She pulled off the jacket and shoved it close to the guy's face. I don't wear filth. Either fix this without a single scratch or be ready to pay in full. Paris, seriously? It's just a stain, not the end of the world. You can get it cleaned. Stay out of this, Chloe. Unless you have $5,000 to buy me another jacket. I don't think so. Whoa. Was she even Paris? My super shy best friend who has never spoken up about anything? Feeling totally insulted, I threw a few bills at her. That should get it cleaned. Without looking back, I grabbed Greg's hand and walked away. I thought Paris would realize she was acting like a jerk and apologize, but instead, she ditched me. She hung out with Claire and the cool crowd. I knew they only liked her for her money, but she was too desperate for popularity to see it. I was sad to lose my best friend. I miss her, Mom. She's at the top now, and she's left me behind. Baby, you'll shine one day. Just wait, okay? Mom was my rock, always trying to cheer me up, even though things were tough on her. She worked herself to the bone as a waitress and cashier just to keep us going. But instead of things getting better, they got worse. One night, a storm ripped off part of our roof, letting the rain get inside our house. Cold and shivering, we tried to call the landlord for help, but he didn't care if our house was flooded. We spent the night scooping water, and that was when Mom made a promise. I'll make enough money for us to get out of this dump, even if I have to work 3 more jobs. But I couldn't bear to see her break herself like that. So I started designing and sewing fancy baby dresses by hand, then selling them to some pedestrians. I was determined to help Mom however I could. And one day, my hard work brought me a golden opportunity. You made this? Whoa, you need to enter this. It's a design competition for talents like you. It's organized by Vera Hart, the greatest designer of all time. That moment changed everything. For the sake of the dreams we used to share, I even decided to tell Paris. Mom thought it was a good idea too, but it would soon become my worst mistake. What are you doing here? I came to give you this. It's a chance for us to be designers like we used to dream. Look, I buy designers now. Bye. She slammed the door in my face and I felt so embarrassed and angry. I was definitely not talking to her again. Soon after that, I went to the address on the flyer to register for the competition that would be starting the following day. And guess who I saw? Paris, you said you weren't interested. Like I'd let you become a designer before me. What's your problem, Paris? Why did you let money change you like this? Everyone changes at the taste of money, Chloe. Everyone. Just as I was about to roast Paris, an old woman came in. I think you took a wrong turn. The retirement home's that way. No, I'm here for the competition. Everyone gaped at her, but all the chairs had already been filled up. Well, tough luck. No chair, no entry. Show some respect, please. I stood up from my chair and gave it to the old lady. Bless you, child. I had to stand for the rest of the registration. My legs hurt, while Paris stuck her tongue out like a 5-year-old. When it was over, the woman handed me a pack of shiny beads. You'll be needing this tomorrow. Thank you? I didn't understand what she wanted me to do with it until the day of the first competition stage. We were asked to make our first outfit. The best 5 would continue to the next round. When I added the beads to the dress, it made it pop. And I couldn't believe it. I won first place. Paris came in third, and the old woman placed 5th. I couldn't help but wonder why the old lady didn't use the beads for her own dress. So when I saw her waiting outside to go home, I approached her. Thank you for those beautiful beads, but why didn't you use them? Do these shaky hands look like they can put a thread through a needle, let alone a bead? I'm too old for that stuff. Then why are you in this competition? I don't like poke-nosers. Don't worry, I won't help you again. I didn't mean to. My jaw dropped as a G-Wagon stopped before her and a guard got out. Time to go, ma'am. I could only stare. Who was this old woman with bodyguards in a G-Wagon? I didn't have time to think much about the strange woman because the competition soon boiled down to Paris and me. I was ready to give my all and win, but then something happened that threw me off balance. It was supposed to be the last day of the competition week. I was getting ready when I heard a thud. It was Mom. She'd slipped while cleaning the water from our leaking roof. Next thing I knew, she was in an ambulance. The doctor said she had broken several bones and we needed lots of money for her to heal. The time of the final competition between Paris and I arrived, but I couldn't bring myself to leave since Mom was still in the hospital. Just go to the competition, honey. I will be fine. Mom, I can't leave you like this. I know you're scared, honey, but life doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Go out there and show them who you are. And when you win this, tell me about it. That will make me feel better. Mom was right. I went to the competition eventually, but since I was so distracted over Mom's ordeal, I lost the first part. Badly. We only had one more part to go before the winner was decided. But before that, the judge announced a break. I went to use the washroom, hoping to clear my head. I needed to stay strong. Mom needed that prize money. Moments later, the old woman came in. I hadn't spoken to her since that last time she left with a fancy ride. You look beat, kid. Before I could reply, she slipped something into my palm, a tiny blade. Ruin Paris's final outfit so only yours gets to shine. Easy win. With the way things were going, it was a very tempting suggestion. But I'll win clean or not at all. Suit yourself. Then the old woman left the room with a sneer. Minutes later, Paris and I were back on stage making our dresses. I forced myself to think of nothing else but doing my best. We finished in the evening and went home, waiting for the judge's decision tomorrow morning. The next day, the judges arrived and Paris and I were asked to present our dresses. But when I unveiled mine, it was shredded like cabbage for salad. Is this a prank or what? I swear, it wasn't like this, I turned to Paris, who was struggling to hide a smile. Paris, you witch! You did this! I didn't do anything. Oh, yes, you did. Everyone turned to watch the old woman walk in. I now proclaim Chloe the winner of this competition. Wait, what? Why was she announcing the winner? Who was she?
Someone please take her to an old people's home. She's losing.
Gasps echoed as the woman suddenly straightened, tossed her cane, and pulled off her wig and shades. My jaw dropped. It was her, the most legendary, mysterious designer in the world.
Vera Hart?
That's right. I've been searching for a successor with skill, but also compassion. You're talented, sure, but you're arrogant and selfish. You didn't think twice about tearing someone else down to stand taller. But Chloe, even when she had an excuse to cheat, she didn't. That's real strength. I was amazed to discover that the blade stuff had just been a test. The crazy old lady was the icon we all admired, and she chose me. Vera handed me a check for $1 million as the prize for the competition. Best part? I'd get a personal mentorship from her after school. With some of the money, I paid Mom's hospital bill, got us a cozy new home, and stashed the rest in the bank. I wasn't touching another dime until we had a rock-solid plan to invest it. When I returned to school, I showed up in my favorite thriftwear, but somehow everyone knew I was rich, so I wasn't even surprised when Claire hugged me like we were BFFs.
Look who is a millionaire now! So what's the first thing on the list? Shopping, party, designer clothes?
I was just about to shove her away when I saw Paris curled up in a corner crying.
Paris, what happened? Apparently her parents blew their business since they were spending like idiots. They went bankrupt and now they are back to square one. I just gave her a small welcome back to poverty.
I wanted to explode in my anger. Why are you laughing? I thought she was your friend.
Was, not anymore. You're my new bestie, Chloe.
I'd rather have a pig as my bestie. Claire glared at me and left. Then I sat beside Paris.
Chloe, I'm really sorry. When I learned that my parents had gone bankrupt, I was desperate to win. So I agreed to ruin your dress when Vera Hart suggested it. I'm so ashamed of myself.
I'll admit, it wasn't easy for me to say no either.
You deserved that win. Every bit of it. Can you forgive me?
The memory of Paris washing dirty stalls beside me flashed in my head. Despite everything, that moment stuck. Well, I'm not touching that money for at least the next 5 years, so if you're saying sorry just to get a piece of it, you'd be disappointed.
Thank you. I missed you, Chloe.
I missed you too. Never forget the friends who stuck with you when things were rough. Those are your real friends. And hey, spend money wisely.